What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I've got 3 picks on the NBA to take you through today. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Russell Westbrook got us paid, which was a great way to start my day yesterday. But it was a terrible way to finish it with losing most of my bets. Let's talk about it. I shared only the 2 picks with you guys on yesterday's video. Drew Holiday smashes his rebounds and assists. It was a great look, to be honest. That was easy as. And then Luka Doncic over his rebounds and assists. Everything was looking great. And then the Lakers start to get blown out in the third. JJ Redick pulls all his starters midway through the third, waves the white flag. And Luka Doncic kills us. Not only did I get killed by Luka in that one, I also ran a points prop on DeAndre Ayton, which was also looking okay until everyone got pulled. So that one sucked. And then in the late slate, got it bet on Christian Braun. Anticipated Murray and Gordon being out. Thought we could catch a low line. Regardless of how low the line was and what the CLV was, Christian Braun sucked today. Didn't get close to the points prop. So that was a bad read. I ran a lot of 3 different tricksy combos, which are my risky parlays. None of them hit, although there was some pretty good reads in it. Disappointing way to finish. But got all my NFL bets down already, so that's going to be pretty juicy. And NBA, I've had a good look at the slate. I think there's some value on there as well. So let's talk about it. So jumping into the Props Madness, the best tool you're going to find if you like betting on player props. I strongly encourage you guys to check it out. There's a discount down below in the video description for those who choose to. It's 25% off when you use my code DAFT. Oh, speaking of codes, on yesterday's video, I did such a wonderful job of explaining how good Dabble is, and I forgot to put the link in the video description. So if you're looking for a new pick 'em up, Dabble's the best place to go. You get $25 just by signing up. You don't even have to deposit. So go ahead and check that out. There's a link for it in the description as well. Now, let's talk about these props. I've got 3 of these suckers for you. We've got a decent slate today, 7 games. 7 games, a lot easier to research, so I'm down with that. First one we're looking at is in the Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic. These guys just played each other 2 days ago, and if you remember, I had the pick on Jaylen Brown to score his points, and he absolutely pumped it. So it was a great game by Jaylen Brown in that one. I was really hesitant on wanting to bet it again. Well, not really. I had to be hesitant. Like, I want to bet this again, but I just can't bring myself to do it because surely the Orlando Magic do something to slow him down. He took 28 shots, fair enough, 32 points. He could come out and smack 35, which is what I also bet on him for, but that might be something I play at. I don't imagine this line moves too much because I think a lot of people might be feeling the same thing as me, but what I am betting on is my man Derek White. Not only do we share the same haircut, maybe a similar physique and skin tan, but I like his game. He's been terrible shooting the ball, and whilst I do lean to his over when it comes to scoring his points prop, what I'm actually betting on is his rebounds and assists. I took the over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Been pretty steady. He's over in 5 out of 10 games, but he has been over in 3 straight. He's averaging 8.7 so far this season. It's a good spot against the Orlando Magic. I've said this many times before. They play with a lot of pace, which results in a lot more rebounds and a lot more assists. He had a season high, 12 rebounds and assists against them in that most recent game 2 days ago. And what really caught my attention is not the fact that he got 10 assists, but he had 8 rebound chances, only pulled down 2 rebounds. So there's an opportunity for some improvement there. And with the assists, although he had 14 potential assists, he probably, should have finished on 7 to 8 based on his averages. Just on the opportunities alone, Derek White should be able to cover his rebounds and assists. He's been fairly good at that so far this season. If the shot's not falling, he's doing everything else. It's also somewhat easy to get assists against the Orlando Magic because Derek White's not typically looking for shooters. If you can find Jaylen Brown cut into the basket or Cater cut into the basket, he can get some easy assists that way. The Orlando Magic are actually doing a pretty good job defensively in making these looks difficult for Derek White. So they're really running him off the line, forcing him into a playmaking role. So I'm liking Derek White and his rebounds and assists here, just keeping the trend going. I did want to bet the PRA, but again, now you're relying on him to score and do everything else. And as I mentioned in previous videos when I took his under, he doesn't typically do both. So hopefully Derek White doesn't erupt for 30 points today, because if he goes crazy scoring the ball, these rebounds and assists might be hard to come by, but I'm buying it. I'm taking Derek White over 8.5 rebounds and assists. The next play that I'm looking at is in this game between the Detroit Pistons and the Philadelphia 76ers. And I'm rolling with the tickle monster again. It's Jalen Duren. 18.5 points. Now, it is a very high line for someone like Jalen Duren. It's actually his highest line of the season. But the reasons why it's high makes a ton of sense to me. He's averaging 19.2 points per game this year, a career high so far. And he's got an awesome matchup here against the Philadelphia 76ers. The biggest call out to make here is that there is no Joel Embiid in this one. He's sitting. It's a back-to-back for Philly. So Jalen Duren, he should be able to destroy them down low, just like all the other centers have. Now, Joel Embiid has missed 3 games so far this season. One of those games was against a team that I think it was against the Orlando Magic. They don't typically have bigs that take advantage, but Banchero, Franz had very strong games scoring in the paint. The other 2 games are against Cleveland and the Brooklyn Nets. And in both of those games, you can see it here. Jared Allen scored 24 points. His line was 13.5 in that game. Nick Claxton erupted for 19 points against a points line of 10.5. Really took advantage of Philadelphia 76ers down low. On the season, they allow the 7th most points in the restricted area. They allow the 2nd most points to centers in the league. So guys built like Jalen Duren who just want to bang down low and dunk that damn ball have had a lot of success against Philly. Philadelphia going to start a Dembona by the looks of it. A Dembona, somewhat athletic. Well, he's very athletic, but he's undersized in comparison to Jalen Duren. And then you have Andre Drummond, who is oversized. So I think Jalen Duren's going to find a way to get a mismatch either way. Jalen Duren, for a big man, runs the floor very well, scores some points in transition. He'll be able to outrun Andre Drummond. A Dembona doesn't have the size to handle Jalen Duren down low. The Dembona also tries to block everything that comes towards the rim. So I can see Jalen Duren getting some offensive rebounds, getting some putbacks, and have a lot of success with Kay Cunningham and get some lobs down low. So this is the highest line we've had for Jalen Duren all season. But because of all those reasons, I'm still willing to buy it. Like, other centers have easily covered their line against the Philadelphia 76ers. The only risk here, well, the main risk, not the only risk, is Jalen Duren finding foul trouble. And we know what this whole experience is like, right? You sweat that first quarter just hoping he doesn't foul idiots out there and cut his minutes short. But I think he's going to be smarter today. Isaiah Stewart, he is doubtful to play this game, and he usually plays the minutes that Jalen Duren doesn't. Without him, it's going to be quite difficult for the Pistons to get the win here. So Jalen Duren better wise up, better act right in this game, and keep his hands to himself, for the love of God. He's also going to be defending some low usage guys. In that front court for the 76ers is a Dembona, Andre Drummond, Jabari Walker. Like, these guys aren't going to see the ball. So unless Jalen Duren keeps fouling Tyrese Maxey or he's pushing people in the back during rebound contests or something like that, he shouldn't. And he should be able to avoid foul trouble. He should play at least 30 minutes in this game. And if he does, I love the chances here. You've seen him have big games against teams that really struggle down low. Dallas Mavericks have been an absolute funnel for centers. He scored 33, 22 against the Utah Jazz, 30 points against the Brooklyn Nets, all teams that are very weak down low. So I'm liking Jalen Duren to cover his points line here. 18.5, it is high, but I'm buying it. Hopefully he just destroys him down there. Keep your hands to yourself, Mr. Duren. And then my last play, we're heading into the last game of the slate. It's the Wolves versus the Kings. And I'm betting on Anthony Edwards to go over his points prop. Now, I bet this at 26.5. It's at 28.5 now. And even though, there's quite a bit of movement there, I still think the 28.5 is coverable for Anthony Edwards, which is why I'm sharing it with you all today. Now, Anthony Edwards, he's just dropped 37 points in the Utah Jazz in only 26 minutes. He's up against the Sacramento Kings, who, believe it or not, are worse than the Utah Jazz defensively. So in terms of the matchup, the Kings give up the most points to pick and roll ball handlers, where he scores a ton of points. They give up the 5th most points in the paint. They give up the most points to guards. So great matchup here. But if we're going to talk specifics about this matchup and why it's so good, firstly, the Sacramento Kings don't have any rim protection. Domantas Sabonis is questionable, and even if Domantas Sabonis plays, he's not a rim protector anyway. So they've been getting chewed up down low all season long. What's also interesting is the way that they're defending guards on the perimeter. For some reason, they have Russell Westbrook defending the best scorer on the opposition team. And as much as I love Westbrook to death, he ain't built like that at this age to stop any of these young guys on the perimeter. I also found the Sacramento Kings, they go over a lot of screens. And what that typically means is they get caught on the attacking player's back, so they kind of get put in jail. So for someone like Anthony Edwards, it's going to force him to go downhill and attack the basket. That's what that type of defense is designed to do, to kind of limit those 3-point shots around pick and rolls. It's a bad thing because Anthony Edwards is just going to be running downhill on you all night. And if you stop that, and you go under or you switch, he's going to have a mismatch. He's going to kill him. If you go under those screens, he's going to shoot the three. So I think there's so many different ways here that Anthony Edwards can cover these points prop. It's not funny. I absolutely love it. Anthony Edwards should have an explosive game today. Like a lot of the big stars in big games, they typically go off. He's had 41 and 37 points in 2 games. So Portland and Utah, he's killed them. Against the Lakers, they were pretty woeful. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they got blown out. He still scored 31. Injured against the Pacers. Then in his return against New York, everyone was saying that he returned too early. Then the Timberwolves got blown out. So that wasn't a great game. This is a 5.5 point spread. The Minnesota Timberwolves should take care of business in this one. But hopefully Westbrook can keep the Kings competitive, because if he does, then it gives Anthony Edwards more times to get some more buckets. But I do think Anthony Edwards has a really big, explosive game here scoring the ball. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're down to ride with me, let's go. You know the drill. Just because the 3 picks have been shared, it doesn't mean we're done yet. We're going to go through all my leans, my other insights. And I got to say, a lot of these leans and insights and extra plays that I'm thinking about betting on, a lot of them have been banging. So, and I haven't been betting on too many of them because I'm just spoiled for choice. But I've got to lock in. I've got to post this video when I'm done editing it, post the video, go back and watch it and review the plays that I originally liked, because by the time I wake up in the morning, it's as if I forgot a lot of the good plays and I don't play a lot of them. So we'll do what I do, and I'll go through each game, tell you what my thoughts are, what I like, what I'm not sure of, and the reasons why. If you find that of value, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, help your boy grow. Let's do it. All right, Rockets versus the Bucks. Honestly, there's nothing that I like too much in this game. Giannis is probable to play in this one, but there's still a chance that he gets pulled out. Still probable regardless. This is a tough matchup for on both sides. Not a tough matchup on both sides, but what I'm saying is there's no one with a clear advantage like an Anthony Edwards, for example. But one play that I do like, which I found after I sent my picks out, which I may play in the morning, is Amen Thompson rebounds. Line's at 6.5. He's over this in 4 out of 8 games. The Bucks, they do allow the 7th most rebounds to guards. I was really just thinking through the matchups and how these teams play. Amen Thompson is usually their lockdown on the perimeter. The Bucks have pretty low usage guards and wings. Everything kind of funnels through Giannis, and if Giannis isn't there, Kyle Kuzma's usage rate is through the roof. Bobby Portis and Miles Turner seems to get a lot of touches as well. Amen Thompson will likely lock up someone like a Ryan Rollins, which I think he'll do a good job at. But at the same time, I think Amen Thompson's going to find himself in some good rebound positions in this game. This team, they allow the 7th most rebounds to guards. And in similar types of matchups, teams that give up a lot of rebounds to guards, he's had a lot of success. 9 boards against the Boston Celtics, 10 rebounds against the Memphis Grizzlies. He had a tough matchup against the Spurs and still finished with 7 boards. He's got a great matchup to get some rebounds today. So Amen Thompson over 6.5. That's one that I was leaning towards, and I may take in the morning. We'll see how the line moves. Then we got the Nets versus the Knicks. On paper, Jalen Brunson has an excellent matchup to get assists, but I also know how the Brooklyn Nets play defense. And someone who I think is a bit of a sneaky spot is Mikal Bridges. I love the over 3.5, but it's heavily juiced. Still worth playing if you ask me, but heavily juiced. This line should be at 4.5 by the time this game kicks off. I think that's where it closes. At 4.5, it'll be at plus money, and I still think it's worth considering. The risk here is 2 things. Karl Anthony Towns has an excellent matchup to dominate today. He might see a whole lot of usage. Jalen Brunson is a ball hog, but there's also a blowout risk. 15.5 point spread. Mikal Bridges might only get 25 to 30 minutes, so there's a bit of risk to it. But I like Mikal Bridges to score get some assists today. The other one's Karl Anthony Towns. I really just like his PRA, to be honest, for him to do everything. And my thought process here is like he's got a high-ish line compared to what he's done. No, not really. His line is normally around this, 36.5. But he hasn't got a great hit rate against this line. And the reason for that is that Karl Anthony Towns is, how do we say it here in Australia? He's a bit of a bitch. And what I mean by that is in tough matchups, he's not going to get close to this. But the minute he's got a soft matchup, like the Boston Celtics, who are really undersized at the front in their front court, or the Chicago Bulls, who are terrible at defending bigs, or the Washington Wizards, who everybody bashes up, they're the games that he seems to do well in. In all the others, not too great for Karl Anthony Towns, but he's up against the Brooklyn Nets, who kind of fit into that same category as the Washington Wizards. They allow the ninth most PRA to centers. They allow the most assists in the league. They've got the worst defensive rating. They allow the second most points in the restricted area, and centers have absolutely feasted on them. So this is a cupcake matchup for Karl Anthony Towns, and as a flat track bully, I think he could bully these guys, but same as Bridges, the same risk applies, right? There's a blowout risk. Jalen Brunson could decide to go hero mode and ruin the party for everybody. For the Nets, there's nothing that really catches my attention. Potentially Noah Clowney, but we're dealing with a small sample size of data. He's been in the starting unit for 3 games now. He's covered his points line in every single game. He tends to score a lot of points from spot-up shooting, so he's just letting shit go. His three-point line is at 2.5, though, at plus money. It could be worth a play, but that's just one that might be worth considering. If you think the Nets can keep it competitive, the Celtics versus the Magic. There's a couple different ones here. About Paolo Banchero, I've been eyeing his rebounds and assists for a while, waiting for him to drop. He just got the 13 against Boston in the last game. Didn't see high rebound chances or potential assists. Even his points was down. So off game from Banchero potentially could be a nice bounce back spot for him to absolutely eat. That's one that I considered. France to score some points, been really consistent all season. The matchup's not great, but he's not getting as much attention as Banchero is. Then we've got Wendell Carter Jr. He had a great game against Boston last time. Can he do it again? Yes. Will he? Shit, I don't know. And then Jalen Suggs. This has been a hit rate machine. His rebounds and assists over 5.5. Over it in every single game. He'll only play 20 minutes. That seems to be his limit at the moment, but he's been cashing every single time. He had 8 rebounds and assists against the Boston Celtics in that last game. But again, I'm a bit hesitant to take many bets on this game because these teams just played each other. And when teams just play each other, a lot of wild shit can happen the second time it goes around. Me betting on Derek White is probably as risky as it gets already. But who knows? I might be tempted to make another play. Then we got the Thunder versus the Grizzlies. I think Ja Morant under his PRA could be a look. It's at 33.5. He did have an amazing game against the Dallas Mavericks, but that was a terrific matchup, and the Grizzlies were great. Now he's up against OKC, 10-point spread. Historically, OKC have given him problems. He's under this in his last 5 games against OKC. They just really shut his ass down. So if there's a blowout, he likely sits. So Ja Morant taking his unders could be a look. And then for OKC, there was nothing. OKC is a tough team to really bet on for me. Then the Pistons versus 76ers. We got Tyrese Maxey without Joel Embiid. But funnily enough, Tyrese Maxey actually averages less points when Embiid's not there. He gets all the attention in the world, so that gets a little bit difficult. So the assists might be a look. 6.5 assists. I like the over there, but it is heavily juiced. So that's the only reason I'm not playing it, is that the price isn't great. We have Trendon Watford, who just had an amazing game. Mucked around and got a triple-double, 17 rebounds and 10 assists against the Toronto Raptors to go along with his 20 points. Absolutely stunning. Should see some more minutes today. Line's at 22.5. I don't know whether it's playable or not. Like, I don't know where these lines are coming from. His line was at 15.5 as a PRA. It's gone up by 7 since that last game. But I typically try to avoid players who've just exploded. So I'm a bit hesitant on that. Cade Cunningham's been playing out of his mind, both scoring the ball and getting assists as well. Could he get another 30-point triple-double against the 76ers? Absolutely. He's got a great matchup to score. His assist matchup's not the best, but he's been doing well in tougher matchups anyway. Points-wise, if you bet the over, I do think he can get there, although it is going to be sweaty. In a lot of these games, Cade typically goes off in the fourth quarter. So he doesn't do fucking shit all until the fourth quarter. Then he just starts hammering all these points home. So, yeah, I lean to the over, but it's going to be a sweaty one if you choose to watch it. Pacers versus the Warriors. Nothing really caught my attention in this one. We don't know if Steph Curry is going to play. Andrew Nembhard just came back for the Pacers, so I'm not really sure how that team's looking at the moment after a 1-game sample size with him back. Then we're at the Wolves versus the Kings. Domantas Sabonis is a game-time decision. I want to bet on Russell Westbrook again. I really do. I've been betting him constantly. I just can't find the angle for it right now. We can make the assumption Sabonis is out, and in those games with no Sabonis, he's been an absolute freak. But yeah, the bet is whether Sabonis is going to play or not. But then you have to rely on Russell Westbrook to deliver. And I don't know if you watched that OKC game, but man, my boy was looking tired as hell out there, like trying to get that 7th rebound for the community. So I'm not too sure. I want to bet on him, but yeah. It depends on the Sabonis news, and then when the news comes out, his lines are going to move. Then we have to determine whether it's playable or not. And then for this team here, the Wolves, there's two thoughts. I was either looking at Julius Randle rebounds or Rudy Gobert rebounds. Rudy Gobert is a piece of shit when it comes to rebounding, though. He'll get 20-something rebound chances a game and still finish with 9, whereas Julius Randle has a much better conversion rate on his boards. Like, you give him 15 rebounds chances, he'll get you 10 rebounds. But I want to tackle the rebounds here because the Kings have just been getting dominated on the boards. Like, they have no big, and if Sabonis is out, they're getting absolutely murdered out there. Hartenstein just killed them. So, yeah, it's all really dependent on what happens with Sabonis, on how I approach this game. No Sabonis, you would have to assume Rudy Gobert goes crazy. If Sabonis does play, then Rudy Gobert and Sabonis just spend a lot of time touching each other, not getting rebounds, and then someone like a Julius Randle could have a really strong game. So, yeah, a couple of different angles depending on whether Sabonis plays or not. It's really good to probably just wait and see as well. Like, I think one thing to call out, what's at the top of my mind, in the last video I spoke about the Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram conundrum that I was running into, like who's going to get boards. And then Jakob Poeltl got ruled out, and I was like, shit, someone's definitely going to get boards now. I made the mistake of like laddering Scotty Barnes to 10 boards, thinking it could have been him. And then I watched the game, and Scotty Barnes is defending Joel Embiid, and I was like, I'm cooked here. Brandon Ingram's going to cash some rebound ladders. His line was 6. He finished with 8 rebounds in that game for Brandon Ingram. So a similar rule applies here against this Wolves and Kings game. If you're somebody who live bets, probably just wait to see what the matchups look like. But I think in this instance, it's not a question on who's going to defend who, right? I think it's if Sabonis is out, then Rudy's probably the guy. If Sabonis is in, Julius Randle should have a strong rebounding game. That's just my opinion anyway. We'll see what happens. But again, we'll wait for some news and then we'll make some decisions then. But yeah, that's all I've really got for you today. I appreciate it if you made it this far in the video. I appreciate all the comments, all the emails, all the stuff, all the interactions I'm having with you guys. It honestly makes my day when I get to read through that stuff. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Doing this stuff every single day, bringing content to you from now to the end of the NBA playoffs every single day. My wife doesn't love it, but hey, at least I'm happy, right? But if you bet on this slate, I wish you the best of luck. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.